Hey, what's going on? This is Derek, aka Wizrad, back again on my game reviews channel. If you guys missed my video from last week, I'm making this my second video just to reintroduce myself kind of on the YouTube scene and hopefully capture some of my subscribers from back in the day that might have forgotten all about me, much like I kind of forgot all about YouTube for about 5 or 6 years. So again, this is my second video here. It's going to be kind of just a shortened video with some of the topics that you guys kind of gave me from last video. I'm also going to be trying to just better myself in front of the microphone. I noticed last video I was doing a lot of the uhs and the ums literally every 20 seconds, 10 seconds. It was kind of ridiculous, and I'm really trying to limit that right now. Other than that, I do have a few cool announcements here. First off, I have a Twitter at Wizrad, so anyone who's interested, follow me there. I'm also at the No Filter, a Nintendo podcast YouTube channel, of course. Please subscribe there. And I do have an email if any of you guys have any other questions or any suggestions you have for me and you want to contact me directly, nofilter_wizrad@hotmail.com. So without further ado, let's get started here. As you can see on the screen, I have a list of 6 final icon choices for you guys to go over here. There's quite a few suggestions and additions that people had in mind, and these were the top 6 that people have chosen. Please, in the comments, in the icon choice chart that I have there, it goes from 1 through 6, left to right, and down, left to right again. Please, whichever is your favorite, put that up there, and who knows, that might be the official icon for the No Filter and Nintendo podcast channel and podcast. So that would be great to see. About my last video, one thing I wanted to go over again was the audio up to par for everybody. I'm using Audacity to record. I have a blue snowball microphone with a pop filter, and I've been adjusting in Audacity, compressor, equalization, normalizing, amplifying, a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. And in my opinion, I feel like it might be a little bit too bassy. I know that a lot of podcasts, especially podcasts that are made by just one person, use just one. They have a little bit more bass to them. But I'm hoping that the audio is great. So please just give me some feedback if you like the audio. If I should lower some of that bass, a little bit of the treble, anything like that. So first off, some comment suggestions I received from last video. The first one I want to talk about, that was just kind of my own, topic here, was my PS4 situation. So, okay, let's just start from the beginning. End of last year, I believe it was October, something like that. I was ready. I'm like, you know what? The Wii U is trash. No games are coming out for it. I didn't even buy Paper Mario Color Splash. I finally put my foot down saying, you know what, I'm not buying these Paper Mario games, Nintendo, until you make another The Thousand Year Door or the original. I enjoy the Paper Mario games for what they are, but they really, really need to hit up the RPG elements again. They need to actually put effort into these games. You can tell these are just phone-in, just shitty, quickly made games. They don't have any effort in the world design, any of the characters. The fact that they put just all Toads made me want to puke. I was just done. No way in hell. Anyway, that's a big tangent again. You'll probably get used to that from me. A lot of tangents. So again, at the end of last year, I was ready to buy a PS4. I was waiting for Boxing Day, which for a lot of you Americans, maybe that's not in in America for you guys, or you guys aren't aware of it, but it's the day after Christmas. There's always a ton of sales. It's basically like a Black Friday, the day after Christmas. And me and my brother, we always go to a Best Buy, or what we used to go to the Future Shops and stuff like that, and we'd always get some good deals on some games or some systems or movies, technology, anything like that, especially USB sticks and stuff like that. So I was ready to go get the PS4, and then the Switch was announced. So this, I believe, was in November, October of that year, of 2016, and I was pretty damn hyped for it. But what happened is I didn't know exactly when it was coming out. We didn't know, I don't believe it was announced that it was coming out in March yet at that time. But what happened was Persona 5 was delayed I forget exactly what the time frame was, but Persona 5 being delayed and the Switch coming out inevitably, I was like, you know what, I can hold off on getting the PS4 for a little bit here. Let's see what pans out with this Switch thing here. So I waited. I didn't end up getting Switch on day one. I didn't want to pre-order it, but I also just couldn't find it. So I think it was 2 months after, in May, I got the Switch. Happened to find the very last one in a Walmart, the gray Joy-Cons, and that's what I picked up. I just impulse buy. I was like, holy shit, I actually found one. Oh my god. And then literally people were like taking all the last ones right there, so I was like, fuck it, I'm buying it. You know. So because of that, because of the announcement of that, and because Persona 5 was delayed, I decided I was going to hold out on the PS4 for one more year. And 100%, no doubt whatsoever, this Boxing Day this year, I'm finally getting a PS4. I have so many games I need to play. Nier Automata, Persona 5, 100%. Persona 5 is the go-to game. Horizon Zero Dawn, I've been looking forward to forever. I want to play Last of Us again, Remastered Edition. Last of Us is honestly one of the best games ever made. Just incredible. 10 times better than Uncharted, in my opinion. And I love Uncharted games. Again, tangents. Slow this down. So that's kind of my situation with the PS4 and how the Switch kind of impacted that. Again, I was super stoked for the PS4 before, and then the Switch kind of... Okay, guys, 2017 has been insane for the Switch. I mean, the hype level and the amount of shit that has come out in like 8 months. Holy shit, people. Like... The Switch is absolutely killing. Think of all the games that we didn't even know about at the start of this year and are now out and getting some of the best like reviews ever. And like, you know, this is just insane, guys. This year's been crazy, and I can't wait to talk more about it in the podcast. Following after that, let's get to the next topic here. So this was a question brought up from Ray Excel Torres, who I totally missed in my shoutouts video. Sorry, dude. You know, one of my serious subscribers. I always have conversations with him. Really cool guy, and his suggestion is for me to go over some of the other games I've been playing this year. I don't want to go over all of them. I feel like that's some really good content that I can go a little bit deeper in the actual podcast, but I will go over some of them I'm playing right now. Doom on Switch. Again, I didn't have a PS4. I was gonna get Doom at some time, but you know, my lifestyle and how I can play games and how to get the most out of the games, the Switch is literally just it's a godsend. You know, it's incredible for it. And Doom on Switch I really love it. And honestly, I think I really just like the motion blur. I don't know about you guys, but like this soft kind of feel around it really creates this hectic nature to the whole game and the whole setting. I think it really adds to it. Not gonna lie, I think Panic Button or whatever they call it, Panic Button. They did a fantastic job in adding this motion blur to not just, you know, make up for the Switch's inadequacies in the hardware department kind of a thing, but I think it kind of created its own little feel here that isn't actually seen in the PS4 and Xbox One versions, I guess, and the PC. So I think they did a fantastic job, and I'm really enjoying it right now. I'm taking my sweet time going through it, but you know, I'm really enjoying it right now, and I still haven't even jumped into multiplayer yet, so that's going to be coming up next soon. Rocket League, that's the other one I've been playing. I've played Rocket League a ton already. I played on my brother's PS4. I'd always play there. If you go to other friends' places, it's usually everywhere. So Rocket League's really fun. I love having it handheld again. I don't think I've played it on TV yet, Rocket League, and it's a lot of fun. You know, it's my one criticism with it is just kind of the whole feel of the entire game. It's just so devoid of like personality, really, that just kind of makes me feel uneasy. It's a little weird, but like, you know, it's a really solid game, but something about it just makes it feel so weird and just like sad. I don't know. It's like a dystopian like world where everyone's like watching just a bunch of cars crash because they don't do anything else with their lives. I don't know. It's something like that. Next game is Layton's Mystery Journey on 3DS. So if you guys didn't know, I'm a massive Layton fan. And this game is just, it scratches a little bit of the itch, but the puzzles are mediocre at best compared to the other Layton games. The story is just stupid. You know, I don't I wish they did like a full Layton kind of a story. That's one of the biggest draws I found for the Layton games. I loved it. There's just a lot of little things nagging me about it, but I'm going to push through. It's just taking me a long time. Sometimes say I'm going to bed at night and I want to play some of it, or like I think about playing some of it, then I'm just like, oh man, I just don't feel up to it. And, I'm not used to that for a Layton game. I'm always, I was always down to play the Layton games. I would just like binge them and just go right through 100% those games. I love them so much. And this one just isn't doing it for me. But, I am enjoying it for what it is. I'm just happy that there is another Layton game out there, but I'm hoping that Level 5 just steps their game up and stops doing this mobile-friendly kind of garbage that they're doing here. And, because Level 5 was one of my favorite developers throughout early 3DS, and, I'm hoping they can do a little bit better with it. Last game that I'm not going to go into full detail or anything like that. That's going to be a big portion of a podcast soon, but Super Mario Odyssey, of course. And I guess all I will say is that, yes, I've 100% completed it, 999 moons, went through all the final stages, everything like that. And I really, really enjoyed the game. And the more time I've let it stew, the more I find faults in it. And that's, I think, the issue with Nintendo games like this, because they have so much focus brought into them, and a lot of people really look into these games, whereas if you look at a Skyrim game or anything, people glance over any issues that they find, or or a Horizon game or anything like that. People will glance over that because not everyone really is that intent on what the game is and does, whereas Nintendo people and a lot of people who will review games like Odyssey and talk about it, every little minute detail is fully talked about, criticized in the biggest ways, and that's what I don't want to do, because I do have a small list of, I don't even want to say complaints, because it's like playing through the game while you're playing through the game was one of the best experiences I've had in gaming in a long time. Well, to be fair, Breath of the Wild was pretty incredible, but it was such a frictionless experience that was truly just one of the most what's a word for it, one of the most impeccably designed games I've ever really witnessed or ever played. And but when you look back at it after the fact, you find little details that you're like, oh, this could be better, or I wish this was this way instead of what they actually did, but I understand why they did it this way. So again, guys, I don't want to tread on this too long, but absolutely loved it. 100% completed it. That's my first Mario game I've ever actually 100% completed, all the stars, everything. So I think that tells you guys something right there. So next and last game was actually another suggestion from K-Sid, which gave him the shout out in the video. What's up, dude? So Zero Time Dilemma. This game came out like 2 summers ago in 2016. And, as you guys know, I love like the Layton games, Phoenix Wright games, Zero Escape. I love the Danganronpa series. And Zero Time Dilemma is the third in the Zero Escape series. And I think it might be the worst of the 3, but I loved the different take they had. All 3 of the games have a different feel to them, but I still feel like 999 is the best, whether it was just because of the originality, but I also think it was because of the not simple story, because it was anything but simple, but the more driven story that didn't have a lot of the other kind of stuff thrown in there. Zero Time Dilemma had some really great story elements and definitely some better gameplay and puzzles in there. But I don't know. I was kind of left a tiny bit sour on it, but I did enjoy the experience when I played it. But I wasn't, unlike 999 or Virtue's Last Reward or a lot of these other kind of adventure games like this, I wasn't, running back to play it again just to finish the game. I was playing it through at a leisurely pace, which isn't normal for me for a game like this. So take that for what you will. But I did enjoy the game, and K-Sid, I'd love to see a video from you talking about the game, or even just a big comment or something in this video, or on my No Filter channel, or even in an email. That'd be great to see. The last what time are we at right now? About 15 minutes, 15 and a half there. So one final discussion point here I want to talk about. So this is kind of going to be a little bit of a part of a segment that I'm going to be doing in the podcast, which is about my rants. So this one is, of course, about EA and the microtransactions and loot box crap that they're implementing into their games. This is going to be kind of a shortened version of what I would normally do in the rant videos, but my opinion on this, good riddance. You know, I'm happy that they got all this flack about it. I'm happy that they had to, step back and remove the microtransactions and all that stuff from the game. But I've been saying this for a long time now. We need to speak with our money, and sadly, not everyone who's buying the EA games are actual, gamers. They're more, how can I say it? They're the crowd that will play FIFA in the year, and they'll play Call of Duty in the year, and maybe one random game because it gets a lot of hype online. That's the crowd that EA goes for all of their games. That is the vast majority of, I think, gamers nowadays that are playing on the Switch, PS4, or Xbox One. They're not that invested into the gaming scene like myself or a lot of you guys here. And I think that's the problem, and that's what EA is targeting. But of course, there is some bleed over into the, the hardcore kind of gamers like us. And that's the issue here, because I can say that I'm never buying an EA game, a new game from EA ever again. I will only ever buy used EA games. I'm never giving them a penny from me ever again. 100%, never, ever, unless they 100% completely flip and turn their entire company around. There's absolutely no chance that I'm ever buying one of their games new. Not on Switch, not on PS4, not on PC, nothing. And I feel like a lot of you guys should do this too, because I can't reduce my gaming enjoyment if there is a game they have that I, just principally I can't play. No, I'm a gamer. I want to play the games if I want to play them. Like Anthem does look good, but I will not be buying that new whatsoever. As far as, again, the loot box and microtransactions, the game should be free if they're doing all this looting and this microtransaction stuff. I don't really, I haven't looked in too much about the whole gambling issue with it. I feel like it's just like any other smartphone game, but, I guess they don't give you like a chance. You know what you're buying when you're on a smartphone, and whether EA is just trying to trap kids into doing this, so be it, whatever. But, that's up for, the governments and stuff to deal with. But I don't know, just the game in general, like my view is a little bit tainted on this, I think, because the game is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. It looks stunning. DICE does really good with that kind of stuff. But the actual gameplay of these Battlefront games, I have absolutely zero interest in. No interest whatsoever. It seems so basic and just watered down and just doesn't seem like that fun to play. I love the original Battlefront games. I played those on Xbox. I loved it. But I'm also just not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've watched every single Star Wars. I've probably watched them all multiple times. But, I'm not invested in the world. I don't really care about, I don't know what all these random, tentacle-looking, Jedis and Padawans and all that shit are called. I don't care for that. I'm the casual Star Wars fan, and the game just isn't doing anything for me. But I guess one talking point I want to kind of leave from this discussion is, whose fault is it really for the microtransactions? Is it EA, or is it possibly Disney, or most likely both? Because I'm a big Disney fan. Like the Pixar movies are fantastic, and Disney, they have this creativity, and then whether they are still a blood-sucking company just going for the profits, but they have a backbone of creativity and unique properties and stuff like that as well. A lot of it coming from Pixar and John Lasseter. But I'm hoping that it wasn't a Disney thing, and maybe it was Disney giving EA the kick, saying, get this shit off of the game. You're going to destroy our name, our Star Wars name and our brand for a few people, and we don't want to lose that money. Again, I imagine it's just EA, but I wonder how much Disney had to say in this, the microtransaction part. Or again, it could have just been EA trying to capture, take advantage of the Star Wars IP and just, getting money out of it like that. But either way, fuck EA. I can't stand them as a company after the whole FIFA debacle of them not announcing that you can't even play together with friends online. They just hid that stuff away. I was just done. Like, as a Nintendo fan for years and years and years now, like, I'm so sick of EA just kind of shitting on people and expecting nothing as a recourse. So they've lost a fan they've lost a consumer for life. You're not getting any of my money ever. And, I hope a lot of other people follow suit. Anyway, guys, so that is the end of this video. What are we running at? 21 minutes right now. So I think that was a pretty good for a little bit of an episode here. Most of my podcasts at the No Filter Nintendo podcast channel would be, I'm looking for an hour to an hour and a half, depending on if it's just me, if I end up getting guests. Again, if any of you guys are interested in guesting on the podcast, let me know. If there are any guests, then of course it might run a little bit longer than that, and there might be special events and stuff like that. So, so this is that's my final game reviews video. I don't know if I might end up putting some others if I see that so many other people aren't really jumping into the No Filter thing, and seeing if I can hopefully capture some more game reviews channel subscribers and seeing if anyone's just missing me, because I imagine the sub boxes aren't really popping with my videos if I haven't really uploaded for like 6 years basically. I also know there's that whole bell notification thing. So, hey, actually, if you subscribe to No Filter Nintendo podcast channel, I'd love to see if you guys hit that bell as well, just to, just make sure you can catch any of the videos coming up. But yeah, so I'm planning on having 1 or 2 episodes out next week. I hope you're all excited about it. Please follow my Twitter at Wizrad, Wizrad, my YouTube channel, No Filter, a Nintendo podcast, and my email, if you have any questions, at nofilter_wizrad@hotmail.com. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the video. Any other questions, any suggestions you guys have for me down below? And again, don't forget the icon selection here for the final choice for my icon for the No Filter Nintendo podcast. I have the 6 of them there. There will be some varieties in the colors. Some of them have just a yellow black background or a white background. Some of them, I might be changing that to a gray or a white or a purple or whatever it is. But it's mainly just about what the actual font is and like kind of the effects that I have included with it. So, please let me know, guys. And how do you sign out on like podcasts and videos now? I really gotta get used to this. And I did this whole section here, this whole podcast just in one take, and that's what I've been hoping to do. I don't know if you guys noticed in my last video, I did a full separated. I took different parts for each time, and you can probably realize every time I would come back in saying, anyways, this is what's next. So now I'm rambling. I should probably end this podcast. See you guys later. Talk to you guys next week.